Hi guys, and welcome back to Making Games with Unity. So for today's video, I'm going to show you on how to add an audio on your game. In this video, you will learn the following. What is audio source? What is audio listener? What is audio clip? And how do you place an audio file in your game? How to play sound effects? And how to play background music. So to begin with, we need to have a audio file. Audio file can be downloaded online. You can purchase it. You can create it on your own. But the best way to do it is just to buy someone else's audio and then put it in your game if you are really in a rush. But if you know how to make your audio file, that is also great. So first, we need to put the audio files in our Unity project. So I'm going to get the audio files that I have right now. So I'm going to put it there, so please wait for a while. Alright, we need to create a folder first in our project. So I'm going to create a folder. I will call it audio. So I will put all the audio inside this folder. So right now my audio files is ready. I'm just going to drag them in my Unity project. So this will take some time because this audio file is consists of at least 20 files, something like that. So yeah, let's wait. This is the sound effects that I'm going to use. So in Unity, if you want to play a sound effects, you need to make sure that the audio file is short, meaning for sound effects only, use a .wav file. If that file is for background music, use MP3. That is the simple optimization for the audio. There's more way to optimize your audio, but that's the key. So right now I have a 8-bit SFX here. I get it from the asset store. Yep, and then I have a time for action. Yeah, I also get it from asset store. So I'm going to use the time for action for background music and the 8-bits SFX for the sound effects. So right now we're going to start adding audio to our game. So first click player. Right now we want to play a sound effects when our player shoot a bullet. So right now I'm just going to play it. So right now, as you can see, when I shoot bullet, it's just so dull and it's not alive. So we need to add some sound effects. So from click the player, go to our shoot controller. So from here, we're going to add two things: audio source and the audio clip. Audio source is where your audio will came from. Audio clip is the audio file that we're going to use to play. We need to add a public audio source. This is where our audio will came from. So I'm just going to copy that because this is public. See, the first letter is capital A, and then second we need a audio clip. The audio clip is the audio file that we need to play when we want to play some sound effects or background music. So I'm going to put shoot SFX. So right now we have audio source and shoot SFX. So audio source and audio clip. Alright, so in here, in shoot bullet method, we need to play the sound effects. So we will create a new method here. Let's call it play shoot sound effects. So in here, we're going to use the audio source, then play one shot. So we're going to use that shoot SFX. It means play one shot, it will only play once. Play one shot is good for sound effects, so that's why we're going to use that. So we're going to copy this method, play shoot SFX after we shoot a bullet. So we're going to put it there and then save our script and go back to Unity. So right now we need to put the sounds, the audio source and the audio clip, but right now it's empty, right? Usually our main camera have audio listener by default, but the audio source is missing, so the audio listener is listening to the audio source. So right now I'm going to add an audio source here. So what happened is this audio source is the one who made all of the thing. So we load our audio files in audio source, which is this one, and then audio listener listen to it, and then thus we hear the sound effects. So we're going to click player, and then we're going to drag our main camera, because main camera holds the audio source in here, and then we need to find a perfect sound effects for our shoot. So we just added an audio folder with have some sound effects inside. So right now I'm going to choose a wave file, because this is an sound effects. So I'm going to look for it in here. So shoot, we're going to find shoot. So let's try shoot 3. I'm going to put it here. So now we have audio source and audio clip. So we need to try it now. So let's hit first save our scene and project. Now let's hit play. And now, wow, our game suddenly have something on it. So as you can see, we can shoot bullet now and also play the shoot sound effects at the same time. And imagine, without sound, this game or this mini game is so boring. So right now we just add it, and yeah, it's so awesome. So let's stop that. So now we need to create the same thing for our enemy. So right now we need to check first who's responsible for that, because first thing you're going to think is like, I'll just put the sounds on the enemy. But yeah, it could be true, but based on our code, we can easily check that the bullet is the bullet and bullet controller is the one who's responsible for the collision. So that's a perfect place to put our sound effects. There's so many ways to do it, but right now, based on our code, we're going to add it here. So easily we can go to the builds, then add public audio source, and then audio source, and in here we need 2 audio clip, one for the hit and one for the explosion when the enemy died. So I'm going to create a hit SFX here, and another one is died SFX. So it means died SFX, the enemy is really dead. Alright, now we have the hit SFX and died SFX and audio source. We can now safely create our new methods. I'm going to create a new method here, like not that, private void play hit SFX for our hit SFX, and then audio source that play one shot. I'm going to put our hit SFX here, and then we also need to create a sound effects for when our enemy died. So I'm just going to copy that, and I'm just going to modify this to play dead SFX. Is it dead? Maybe died, right? So died SFX. I'm going to replace the dead to died. Alright, we have 2 methods now. Play hit SFX and play died SFX. So right now, we're going to check where we are going to put that. So I feel like this is the perfect place. So let's try first. So when the enemy died, we're just going to play the died SFX. So now we're going to try it, but first we need to put the audio source and audio clip to our bullet. So right now, when we go inside our prefab, here's our bullet. So our audio source is inside this main camera. So I'm going to click the bullet. I want to put it inside, but we can't. So yeah, we have some difficulties right now because we can put the audio source inside the bullet controller, inside the bullet prepop. Alright, to fix that, we can go back to the bullet controller. So instead of making our audio source public, I'm going to make it private. So because there's no way we can drag the audio source inside our bullet controller class. So I'm going to create a new method, private void, and I'm just going to add the start again. Or maybe awake is better. Because right now we have problem. We need an audio source. To do that, I'm just going to create this awake as you can see right now. So I'm going to use find object of type. So not that one, this one. So find object of type will look in your hierarchy, in your scene for this type of object. In our case, it's audio source. Meaning, even though we didn't drag the audio source, this will find it. We put it on the awake so that we just need to call it only once. Be aware that if you call this find object of type many times, especially on update, your game will have a very hard time playing everything. It means your game will become laggy, and you don't want that because it will create some freeze and might crash your game also. So don't do that. Only use find objects of type. Use it only once on the awake. If you're going to use this line again and again, but of course don't do that. Beware. So right now we have an audio source. So we save this file, then we're just going back to Unity again, and then go to our bullet. So right now we don't need to deal with the audio source. We just need two things: hit sound effects and died sound effects. So I'm going to click the padlock here so that when we go here it won't change. So we need a hit effects. So I have hit effects here. I'm going to drag the hit 03 here, and the died, we need some explosion, and I'm going to put it there. So right now we need to untoggle this padlock so that yeah, we won't have any problem. So let's hit save scene, save project, and let's hit play to try it. So we expect that when the enemy died, it will play the explosion sound effects. What the heck is that? Did you hear that? It's like let's see what happened. So bullet controller, yeah, it did play the died, but right now it's so weird. You know why? We put the play died SFX inside the update, and that is what the heck. Why did we do that? So right now this is not the right place to do that. So we're going to cat this method call, and instead of placing there in the update, that is bad of course because we didn't put any condition here, and this is the update loop. So this is a no, it's a wrong, so don't do that. So first we need to look for our trigger enter. So this is the logic, not this update. So in here we check if we hit the enemy. So I'm going to put it here because this is the place it needs to be. So right now when our enemy get hit, it will dispatch all of this and it will play the play died sound effects. Actually I can just put it there before the dispatch hide bullet. So let's hit Ctrl S to save this file, then go back to Unity, and then let's hit play to try it. Yeah, it's working. See? Yeah, our enemy is exploding now. But there's something that I feel like missing. We didn't use the hit. So in order for us to implement the hit, the enemy needs to have a health points. So to do that, we are going to go to our folder, look for our prefabs, look for our enemy. Right now, our enemy prefab have a enemy controller, and then we can click that. We can go inside. So inside our enemy controller, we can create a new public variable, and I'm going to use integer, and I'm going to name it help points, meaning this is the life of our enemy. So now we get some health points here, which is public integer. After we save it, we can see here, we can see the changes here on the inspector. So right now, if we go to our project again, prefabs enemy, our prefab have some health points. And now we can easily add some health points by directly clicking our prefab and then changing the health points to 3, meaning all our enemy that we are going to create using enemy manager will have a health of 3. So let's save our scene first, our project, then hit play. So now we're just going to check if our enemy have those health. So this is our enemy that has been created. So you will see that they get health points here, 3, 3, 3, 3. So it's all working. So right now we need to go to our bullet controller again. So instead of just playing the dispatch hide bullet and play died sound effects, we're going to access the enemy controller. So here is the reference from our enemy controller. So you can see here we get the component here and we get the access for the enemy controller. So in here I'm going to made a condition like enemy controller health points. If the health points is greater than 0, we will add the health points. Not add, we will minus, of course. So minus, it means when the enemy hit by our bullet, we will deduct 1 health point to them. And then after that, we're going to have some if check here again to check the health points. If the health points is 0, that's the time that we need to play the died sound effects. And also, that's the time we need to hide the enemy. So we're going to cut that. So right now, after 3 hit, our enemy will die. Let's try that. Let's save, go back to Unity. So remember that 3 times and they will explode. So let's hit play. 1, 2, 3. So they actually died. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so it's working now. But where's the hit sound effects? Alright, we need to add that hit sound effects. So down here, we created a play hit sound effects and we're going to use that. Copy the play hit sound effects, go to our logic here. So if the enemy have more health points, we're going to play the hit sound effects. So we're just going to put it there. And then finally, it will deduct. And then if the health points is 0, we're also going to play the play died sound effects. So let's save this, go back to our Unity project and wait for it to be saved. You see here it's still saving, and then yeah, hit play. Let's try it. 1, 2, yeah, 1, 2, 3. So yeah, after we hit them 3 times, they will die. Oops. Yay! So right now, after that whole set, see, the audio is not there anymore. You know why? We need to modify our enemy manager. So we can quickly go to our enemy manager here, check the codes, because right now, after the 5 enemy died, we will show them again, right? But in here, in our show all enemy, we didn't reset the health points. So to do that, we can easily get this array and then access the enemy controller from here. Enemy controller here, then get component, and then enemy controller. So what we're doing here is we're accessing the enemy controller inside this array, which is our enemy manager that handles our enemy. So in here, I'm going to access the health points and I'm going to set it to 3 again, so that when we create or show our new enemy, they will have health points of 3. So let's say this, go back to Unity project and wait for it to be saved. And now let's hit play. We're going to kill them again, and we're expecting that the second set will also have the hit and explosion effect. Alright, so let's try. Alright, so it's working now. See? Good, right? It's working. Yay! And then you also notice that I can shoot bullet in unlimited ways because I created some condition here. See, here is unlimited. It means it will not check the max value count. Before, we created a object pooling, right? But for this test, I wanted to have a unlimited bullet to test our sound effects in a quick manner. So I'm going to go inside that bullet manager, and see here I added just a boolean. Boolean is a condition, which means true or false, or yes or no. So in here I added that is a limited condition. If unlimited, I'll just create a bullet again and again. If not, I'm going to use our old condition that checks for the max bullet. If our bullet manager reach the max bullet count, we're not going to create any bullet. So that's it. So now we forget one more thing. We need to play the background music. Alright, to do that, we can put it anywhere, but right now I'm just going to maybe I'll just create an empty object here. Let's name it maybe audio manager, something like that. But there's so many ways that you can do this, but right now I'm just going to create a audio manager here, and I will create a new code here, like I'm just going to name it audio manager, and then I'm just going to drag the audio manager on our audio manager game object, and inside that I'm going to create a two public variable, which is public, the same thing that we created, audio source, then public audio clip, then background music. Alright, now we have a audio source and audio clip for our background music. So first thing first, I'm going to remove the update here because we don't need that, and I'm going to create a method, private void play BGM. This will play our background music. Playing background music is somewhat different to sound effects, so we need to do it something like this: audio source, then we're going to load the clip using the BGM that we just have, and then on the audio source we need to set the loop to true, so that if our BGM is already reached the end of of its duration, it will play again. And then audio source, then play. So that's it. Before we created something like this, right? Play one shot, then we put the sound clip or audio clip inside, right? But for BGM, yeah, this is the way to do it. So copy the play BGM method, go back to the start, and we're going to put it here, meaning when our game started or when we hit play, it will go to the start and will immediately play our BGM. And then yeah, we also need to do one thing here. I'm going to change the volume to 0.5. It's a float. 0.5 means it's 50% of the volume, because sometimes the audio file volume is so loud. So I'm just going to save this, go back to our Unity project and wait for it to be saved. Go to our audio manager. So we have a audio source here and BGM here. So let's save first our project. Hit save project, then hit play. Alright, so we have a background music now. Woo! So cool, right? So suddenly our boring mini game have some life on it. Woohoo! Alright, kill them all! And then, yeah, I hope you're enjoying this video. Alright, so yep, I hope you enjoy that. So right now, yeah, you know how to add a audio source, which is the one that we add on our main camera. Actually, you can add audio source anywhere, but usually it's on the main camera. And then you also know that the audio source is the one who loads and play the music, and then audio listener just listen to it, and then it will just play on our game or in our project. So in order to play a sound effects, you need that two things: audio source and audio clip. So those three major parts: audio source, audio listener, and audio clip. If you have those three, you can play audio for your game. And then playing sound effects and playing background music is somewhat different, but under the hood it's almost the same. The process is just different when we code them. So yeah, that's it guys. I hope you learned something today. I hope you finally can add audio on your projects right now, because yeah, it will be a very big help to make your project more alive. And who wants to play a game without audio, right? So yeah, if you haven't subscribed yet, if you're new to this channel, please hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell, because yeah, we need it. So please subscribe, hit the notification bell. And then yeah, I hope you learned something today. I hope you can also share this video with your friends. And then yeah, and again, see you on our next video, and have a nice day. Goodbye guys. Thank you for watching.